just don't understand why people didn't understand that we're kind of on a borrowed system here. Where we kind of took their word for it. We kind of had a gentleman's agreement that all the uber wealthy people wouldn't take back ownership of everybody and turn us all back into serfs or peasants or slaves or or I don't know, whatever fucking weird old school name for what you can come up with. It's kind of like, not sure. And it's scary too. I said, I don't know what's all going to do this. And hopefully, my hope is that we're going to go to even more national debt. Which I fuck care. Like, well, we owe money. So, I mean, isn't that the point of our whole economy? Is for us to owe everybody else in the world fucking money, because that's the reason why we got like enough fucking military equipment in here to blow up the entire fucking world in like about 10 minutes, is because they know we're crazy enough that things get desperate. We might pull some shit like that. Well, we can let national debt go up. Oh, I'm sorry, is inflation rate fucking with billionaires and shit? Oh, I'm sorry, their borrowing power's not as good as it used to be because they got to raise the interest rate. Oh, I'm sorry, they can't still use the same buying power or leverage with the cash that they got sitting in some bank account somewhere. He can go fuck himself. Like, I give a shit. Sympathy for that motherfucker. I'm sorry, I only have like $200 billion because of inflation. I'm not gonna be able to go to Mars next year. It's like, Crimea River, motherfucker. Oh, I'm sorry. Was it that you couldn't afford Venice? Oh no, you could afford Venice. You were just pissed off because everyone else was pissed off that if you could afford Venice, you could afford to pay some fucking taxes. Okay, I get it. It's like, I love when they do things that are just so on the fucking nose obvious right in front, and just to fucking insult you right in front of your face. Like, the fucking peasants won't even notice. It's like, no, we did. We did. And why would he do all that for that fucking bitch he's marrying? What's so special about her? That Lauren Sanchez, she got some big ass titties for a 55-year-old woman. It's like, you do know that bitch is 55, right? I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, it's like a 55-year-old woman. I'd tear that shit up. I mean, it's like, that's weird because like they got women that are like already getting into 60 and plus and be like, they're like, you hit that? Say, shit, yeah. What? Is she ready? She interested? She's 55, but still, dude, you got like, you're like what? Well, he's now like the sixth most rich, wealthy motherfucker in the world. He owns like the biggest retail company ever in existence. Dude, you could have got Bill Belichick's girlfriend. Actually, you could have got one that was actually a couple notches higher than her. I mean, you're going to be such a, how can I put it? If you're going to be such a, superficial type, pretentious and superficial, why don't you just buy like, you could have probably engineered one like with an AI program, and they could have used some sort of like clone embryo or something, and then use some sort of genetic modification shit. They could have made whatever bitch you wanted out of scratch. They paid all that money marrying her at Venice. If I was her, man, I would have been like, dude, if you're gonna do this shit, man, I'm sorry, maybe we shouldn't do this. Either you love me way too much for it to be healthy, or there's something else that's like, there's something wrong with him. I wouldn't want my partner to do something like that. That'd be fucking crazy. Like so it must be that what attraction there is that they're both very covert narcissists. Of course, she's seen her fucking lips. She got lips like still lips off fuck gorilla or something, pink or something. She's got some of the best engineered teeth I've ever seen for a woman who's over 55. I mean, her face is starting to, she's getting like that, I've been modified a little too much face, And it's like, I feel bad for her because it's like, like, they go, well, this is saggy and I got a wrinkle there, and it's like, I don't care. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Is your titty, sitting on the floor? I'll pick that fucker up and I'll suck on that nipple. Go ahead. It's like, this shit were like, people. So I feel bad for women these days. They're so down on themselves so much about, they're growing old, they're growing this, they're growing that. I've seen a lot of women ain't done shit to themselves, still sexy as fucking shit, pushing in 60 to the point where I'm like, I'm getting chubby. I mean, that may mean that there's something wrong with me too, though. But I mean, I do, so maybe I just got, unique good taste. But this shit where it's like we've become so fucking superficial. We've worried about things that don't matter. We have worried more about, getting cred on the internet by supporting this, supporting that. That's why. That's why we're here. Because they say, you can't. People get annoyed at people. Some people is it like Howard Stern proved how much he should probably not answer questions that involve his opinion. It's kind of like sometimes Howard does things that are kind of neat, and sometimes Howard kind of shows the fact that he is kind of a fake motherfucker. He doesn't really know how to think for himself, or he exposes things that he should not expose about himself. Which is like he said that he's so unbelievably infuriated, and he will never fucking forgive Trump voters. It's like, what do you expect? That's what they're gonna do. It's all those people that were kind of like, well, like, you're not a Trumper. You just went for them because it seemed like that was going to be the cool thing this year to do. Well, so you went over to this side. Or it was like, those uppity fucking racist, middle class, suburban white women, and, nice low population density areas with high home values. And they're bitches that sit around and drink fucking coffee and watch, Good Morning America. And then they went out and voted for Trump. And it's kind of like, yeah, I'm not surprised. Especially the way things have been. We have not respected the fact that maybe you should try to win people over instead of basically talking down to them to where they're like, well, if I change my opinion, will you stop shaming me? It's like, no, we won't, because we know you'll never form a good enough opinion that we will approve of. It's like, there's like, how could they even think that, or how can they even have this opinion? It's kind of like, in this day and age, it's kind of like, there's like, we got like a trillion fucking people on this planet. Yeah, something. They're almost hard to find one that is absolutely just like the other one. You might find a doppelganger here and there, but it's not nearly as common. It's like, so yeah. People have different motives. People come from different backgrounds. People have been told different shit. There are people from the South who never got for instance, someone who, okay, I was going to say, my ex-wife came from a really rural part of Georgia, was never taught history. You know why? Because she went to a school that was in her church. And it was like one of them, I guess they call it primitive Baptist. Yeah, it's fucking primitive shit, because they only teach history. Because they say the Bible is history. And they don't teach science either. You know why? Because they said, the Bible has a great science curriculum. And they'll say this shit serious. Because they actually fucking believe it. When it's been compounded into them, as a part of indoctrination, for, decades upon decades. And they're in a fairly isolated region where the entire area is like, if you're one of those people that's either not fairly adjacent to their beliefs or exactly of their beliefs, you're going to want to move. It's not going to be pleasant. And I don't mean like, it's just going to be inconvenience. Like, it's not going to be pleasant. Like, you're going to have a burning cross in your fucking yard one of these days, especially if you ain't totally white, or you'll just, have systematic harassment by sheriff's departments or police departments. You'll wind up, in a fucking jail cell somewhere, and they'll be basically going out looking for good enough evidence for the judge to go ahead and slam that gavel and send you to state prison. Where they see one in private prison, you'll sit there, you'll basically be a slave to some corporation, and they'll pay you like $1 a day to the fucking state for it. There are things that go on in other places that you may not understand. Not only can they not just, they've never been given the proper information. And they've been told, if you don't believe us, you're going to burn in hell. And they've been told to believe in hell. Anyone that tells you ain't no devil and ain't no hell, you better run. I don't reckon I ain't go to their school no more. Everything I need knows right there in that there Bible. Y'all not have did that. Hey, just a little boy. You didn't have to kill him. He's just a little boy. It's fucking Carl Childers land. It's I expect them to do that, because it's always been rigged for that way. They're told who to vote for, and something, they listen. That's just the way it is. Where Mike Johnson's from, same thing. That's just the way it is there. Funny thing is James Carville is actually talking about that. He's saying, I love James Carville because he is just, he's just some dumbass old crazy man who's out of touch. Like, no, not really. No, he's pretty, I mean, he don't get everything right, but he's pretty slick, you know. He will sit there and let you know he already knows about, I know that's something. Yeah. No, he's a fucking nut job. Yeah. He's from a whole corner of the state. It's like hidden over there, and it's like you might as well, you're basically stepping into to a time machine if you go there. You know, and it's like, and they control everyone and everything through, you know, because Jesus, you know, he knows me, and he knows I'm right. And I've been talking to Jesus all my life. You know, and Jesus can do everything. I mean, except for manage money, because, you know, I don't know why he you know, we're starting to think Jesus got a drug problem because every time I turn around, he needs more fucking money. What the fuck, man? I mean, can't you just, like, snap your fingers and create money for yourself? That don't even affect the fucking, you know, and somehow magically it not affect, you know, inflation or anything. Like, you mean you could turn this shit into, this shit into like a bread and fish feast out of nothing. Can't you take like $5 and turn it into 50 grand or something? You know, they always got these neat tricks, but the tricks that were really fucking neat and useful, somehow he can't do those. No, we gotta get those for him. You know, the only thing he can't do is make money. Yeah, ain't it a shame? I mean, he created a concept of money for the entire universe, but he just don't have the ability to. He had to create us so we create money, you know, so we could then give it to him. And I don't know, he's going to like fucking dog track or something, you know, in heaven or whatever. I don't know. You'd think he'd win. I mean, shouldn't he be a shoe-in? I don't know. I should probably start waxed philosophically about Jesus. But I'm just saying, you know, it's messed up. But here's the thing. They're owned. What is amazing is you think you don't have owners. We are all owned. Question is how much freedom are they going to allow us to have? So you have a God-given right. It's like, well, you know something? You ain't proved to me God exists, so what kind of goddamn bullshit is this? Okay, what if I'm atheist, so I don't have no rights? Because you have God-given rights. Like, yet that doesn't mean anything. It's you, the fucking rich people, the government, law enforcement, the courts. You know, they're the ones that say you have rights. If that's how they don't want to get together and take away, they're gone. And that's the thing. They've been kind of hinting about this for a long time. They're just going to just start rolling shit back. I know y'all don't see that shit because you're too busy, you know, looking for someone to use the wrong fucking pronoun so you can attack that motherfucker, call him a fucking, you know, a piece of shit. Meanwhile, that dude's calling everybody, go, yeah, I'm totally not voting for, man, the Democrats out of their fucking mind. They're going around just attacking people just because, you know, I'm dyslexic and they're fucking with me about goddamn pronouns and shit. It's like, I don't know, what the fuck are they even talking about? They're crazy. They've lost their fucking mind. And y'all think they're fucking stupid. They're not. They just don't fucking, they don't agree with you. They don't relate. Doesn't mean they're hateful. Doesn't necessarily mean they're ignorant. It just thinks, you know, they don't think that they should just, you know, you are demanding that they pander to you immediately the way you want them to. And you wonder why they have a problem with that. Because that's what you do. You demand that they pander to you and whatever other group that you say you claim to be representing. And my thing is, fuck you and fuck whoever it is. No. And that's where our whole country should have been. If we'd stay that way, more universally, the problem is the people who are of that mentality decide to go and join in with the Republicans. So, I mean, I didn't. I'll never do that. You know, I'll still always support, you know, the left side of, you know, the political, you know, spectrum. But what annoys me is the fact that neither one of them can figure out their butt fucking problem. But we have to unite. But the problem is progressives demand that the Democrats unite to them and do everything that they say should be done. And then the Democrats do the same thing because they're the ones with all the fucking, yeah, we got a fucking money, so how about you shut the fuck up? Oh, we're going to do what you want? Okay, and with what donors? And you refuse to even try and you know, negotiate or work out some sort of, you know, fair thing. I mean, I bet Bernie could, you know, but that's a problem though. It's just like, it's not just the politicians, it's all the people who are in between. No one in Congress or Senate has a snowball's chance of winning the next election. It's going to have to be a governor. And I hope that people figure that out, and we start picking out which governor's going to be, and we put everything behind that person. No senators, no congressmen, no federal heads of departments. None of that.